3%. Guys, I don't know if you're familiar with demographics. I'm barely. I looked up at a little bit of demographics before this right here, just so that I get an idea of what's going on. And it seems like majority of the people in the country are not into it. Last week we covered the new documentary from HBO, Showtime. The new documentary from Showtime. I hope it's Showtime. I don't even know now. Yes, Showtime. Okay, cool. New documentary from Showtime, which is basically anti-white propaganda. Which, man, it just gets so annoying because I'm like, man, like, these conversations have been happening over and over and over and over and over since it's probably happened. And many other conversations has happened as well. But the problem is the way you go about your conversations. You have to have some type of deal of respect with each other. You have to have some type of feels for it. And this documentary did not seem like it had any of that. It didn't have any respect for its subject at hand. It didn't have any respect for the people that it was being made for. And it definitely did not have any respect for the people who invested in it, because I don't think they're going to be making their money back. Because real quick now, after I shown you guys the quick little update last week with this video getting over 102,000 downvotes to, I think it was 3,000-ish upvotes, we now have the IMDb score, which is a 1 out of 10. Can't really do much better than you can't really do much better than that. 1 out of 10. And then you head on over to Rotten Tomatoes, and Rotten Tomatoes has a full on 3%. But the most fascinating part about it is nobody is rating and reviewing it. None of the top raters and reviewers are around rating and reviewing this. I guess they don't want to be I'm guessing that they don't want to be associated with it. I mean, that's 3% right there. That's 1 out of 10 right there. So it doesn't look to be doing very, very well. Now, since this uproar has happened, since everyone has been annoyed by it, showing, and I say everyone, that is all encompassing. It does seem that it's only like 3% of the people who have even seen it have like some type of an upvote for it. 3%. Guys, I don't know if you're familiar with demographics. I'm barely. I looked up at a little bit of demographics before this right here, just so that I get an idea of what's going on. And it seems like majority of the people in the country are not into it. And it could be worldwide. It could be worldwide, but hey, I digress. Let's continue on, shall we? Now, when you have these types of things, and here's the problem. Here's the biggest problem with me. It's like, I don't think that anybody is against going over the history. You should go over the history. You should know your history, obviously. And now, my biggest thing about this, now we've seen the ratings. There was a couple of bad ratings. IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, not really doing that good for it. Not that big of a deal, but the main point is to show that a lot of this stuff, like a lot of people don't take a lot of the people in these type of documentaries seriously. They think that they're just kind of like getting a paycheck, and they're like, yeah, sure, I'll be in your documentary. Yeah. When you say some dumb shit about white people, okay, cool, well, I'll say that. But we're at a point now to where you literally can find these types of people everywhere. You can find these races, and these people are very racist. What are the attributes for you to be able to talk about everybody, but nobody can talk about you? What attributes do you have to have for that? Nobody's allowed to talk about me, but I can talk about everybody and talk mad shit about everybody. What is that? How does that happen? Why would that be? I don't know. It's definitely not the case for all the people in Everything's Going to Be All White. People are coming after them, and rightfully so. It is a It seems like a documentary that wants to separate people and it wants to make them not like each other, and that is just done for profit, guys. Let's not imagine that all of this stuff is for a great culture war, and let's just imagine that a lot of this stuff has to do with profits. A lot of this stuff has to do with money. And certainly they didn't think that they probably thought that there was a good bit of white people who are going to be offended, because they even put it in the preview. The preview said, "Warning: white people may be um, triggered with this," which is like, wow, just say red people. Say, "Warning: red people may be triggered by this," because that's Native American. My grandfather came over here from a reservation, and on his green card it said he was a red man. I wonder how red people feel about this. Or does it matter? I mean, I know that they have natives in the show and all that other good stuff, but they're just talking about your perspective. I mean, it's a bunch of back and forth, And a lot of people do understand the history and know the history. But the underlying problem that I have and that I'm afraid of, that we all should be afraid of, is the actual intentions of these people who are pushing this type of information. You have to be careful, guys. You have to be careful and understand that there are people out there who want nothing good for you. So this lady, who was the one at the beginning of the documentary who did the whole the thing about white people that annoys me, which, replace that with anything else. I know, cliche, old stuff, but realistically, it's just getting so cringe and so old to where it's like, okay, do we really have to have the same conversation again? But here we are. Amanda Seales, the girl who said at the beginning of the Everything is Going to Be All White documentary, talking about how white people annoy her because they are playing the victims, or like it annoys her when they play the victims, but it also annoys her when they kill black people. She said, I need white people to stop saying not all white people and just be not all white people. I don't even, that's, what is that? I don't even understand what that even means. I don't know what your interpretation of good white people versus bad white people are. I say they're white people and people who happen to be white because there is a difference. There should be a movement within y'all's race to distance yourself from y'all's race. Ooh. Not just by color blindness, but by actual distinction. Ugh, that's so fucking cringe, man. Jesus Christ, dude. Holy shit, that's cringe. That's so cringe. That's so cringe and super racist. Like fucking crazy racist. Crazy racist. Like just talking about people like that. That's insane. Whiteness is a construct to oppress. Period. It is not an ethnicity, a nationality, nor a culture. Pride in whiteness is pride in supremacy. If you are not all white people, then your pride is in dismantling it. And that's another one of those weird things, because you're like, well, if you're proud of yourself and proud of your people, you're a supremacist and you can't do that, and not all white people this or that, and blah, 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 blah. If you are somebody who gets into that, that's like you're looking at people's accomplishments who are within your race, and you're trying to take some type of credit for the people who are in your race that did some type of good stuff. Now, I'm way more of an individualist, and I think it's more important for you to work out things yourself and figure them out, as opposed to the group set mindset. And I don't think that a lot of people do, but that right there is just a big explanation to the type of people that you have on this show. And now, does that seem racist or not? It seems pretty fucking racist to me. But what does it seem to you? I don't know. Moving onward now, there was a fun video. If you guys remember there was a fake, what's it called? A fake hate crime done to Jussie Smollett, which he didn't actually get. Nothing actually happened to him. It was, he faked it, basically. He faked it. And this take on here is a very fascinating take on that. Because I don't know. I don't know if it's true.
okay? And then, I'm telling you, this is more about Kim Fox in that situation than Jussie. They're just using Jussie as a come on, y'all. It was no victims. They can't really prove it.
Oh man, I would love. Oh God, I would love. And now remember, this is an entertainment television show, and their entertainment television show is being pumped out to millions of people, and these millions of people are going to be taking in this information and being like, "Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, I would love for there not to be anybody hurt, and then you just let me off of my crimes. That'd be great, right? That'd be great."
Everything was
even if it was a hoax. Even if it was a hoax, this is really happening.
Even if it was a hoax, I think it is. They proved that it is a hoax. Not even if it was a hoax. She is totally 100% still in with it. Still 100%. Even if it was. No, dude. They proved that it was. They know that it was. What do you mean even that it was? Even if it was. What do you mean? They proved it, dude. They proved it. Come on now. Look at this girl beside her. She's all smiling like, she's going to get it. She's going to get it.
And even if it was a hoax for the sake of bringing attention to this, then I'm like, that's low-key noble. Like,
wait, first of all, what's low-key noble? How is that low-key noble? It's either noble or it's not. It doesn't seem noble at all. It seems like horseshit. Especially in Chicago, like the Donald Trump thing in Chicago, it's hard to, that's unbelievable too.
At my wit's end about us censoring situations like this and wanting to make people have to pay. And it's
make people have to pay what? You mean pay for faking a crime? Yeah, that's not good.
Like Emmett Till's accuser was a lie.
Now here we go, false equivalencies. Now I'm sure this has nothing to do with Jussie Smollett. But it's probably some type of hate crime that probably has some legitimacy to it. But now you're trying to connect the two. And connecting the two with these false equivalencies doesn't really work because we can always go out and find a story and then make an equivalency to it. Obviously, it's very easy. It's called anecdotal.
I think she's still alive. And this young man died, and she announced that she was lying about it. They should have put the shackles on her that day.
Yeah, I agree. If that's what it was, yeah, 100%. 100%, you're right.
And she's walking around.
She should be walking around. She 100%. That's gross. False equivalency, completely different cases. But yeah, that's the problem with false equivalencies though, because you'll use a shoddy position and then back it up with something that's legit. And then you get people clapping. Nobody was clapping when she was talking about Jussie Smollett.
Oh, no one was hurt in this situation. Nobody. You know what they're mad about? Their time, their resources being used, the taxpayers' resources being.
Yeah, because Chicago doesn't have a lot of taxpayers. It's not like they have a lot of money.
Taxpayers' resources are being used every day to imprison people who have done nothing but be an addict.
Yeah, but that's not the majority of the police. The majority of the police are actually there performing a public service. Of course, you get your bad drug addicts who have to get locked up. And I grew up around nothing but drug addicts. But it's weird. This is very weird because you don't want to give up your perspective.
So I don't want to hear about Jussie Smollett.
Okay, but I do want to ask people that feel.
I don't want to hear about Jussie Smollett.
Well, what if a hate crime really happens to me, and now because of what Jussie Smollett did, now they don't believe me?
If this one instance is what makes them not believe you, baby, that's a lie that they're telling ourselves. We have lived in a nation where they don't believe hate crimes every day.
Okay, well, every day. But if it's every day, then show us the hate crimes, please. You have to show us the statistics, and you have to show us where it's actually happening. But you probably don't want to do that. The numbers probably don't look good for everybody. It just doesn't look good. It's better to just continue on.
Sure, but I just want to hear an answer. But I just want to ask. I just want to ask because Jussie is it is huge.
Jussie or Jesse?
Because he is famous. So if it was a hoax, what do you think is the correct punishment? And do you think he should be?
They got murderers on probation.
Sure. But I'm asking about Jussie Smollett. I'm asking about that because you said it was low-key noble.
That's such a bad. They put murderers on probation. Ugh. I just hate how everyone tries to simplify things. Is it that simple? I don't think it's that simple.
It literally should be like,
He should be applauded.
damn, they got smacks on the wrist for all these people, and they can't give a smack on the wrist to Jussie Smollett, like, because they're saying that it's a whole big thing. I don't believe it.
It is a whole
And
big thing.
we look at black men who are constantly getting the book thrown at them all the time. All the time. All the time.
But she had to reiterate that because she wasn't getting a lot of backup on him. And then when they finally did, they finally did. But what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You let all these people go out there and push their information to you, and then they get angry. They get very angry because they know that maybe it's not all true. Maybe what I'm saying isn't all true. Maybe I am a little bit of a racist because that's what she seems like. She definitely seems like it, and she won't even say that Jussie Smollett's a fucking idiot. Like, you can't even admit that. And you can't even say that, oh, the boy who cried wolf, which is a fucking story that everybody knows, which is telling you not to fucking lie. But they lie, and lie, and lie, and lie, and lie. And that's what a lot of people do. You can have two people view the same thing, and they have two different perspectives on it. So they view it as completely different things. Now, how do we combat that? How do we get each other on the same page? I think that we're doing a good job of that because looking at all of the ratings, looking at all the things that are going on, all the controversies that are going on, she said some negative things towards her own race as well. I just wanted to point those out because that's what's really hot these days, and a lot of people going crazy for it. So we'll do a little bit of the race stuff. The race stuff's always fun and hot. It's always hot. It's always hot. It gets clicks. It always gets clicks, and it does. That's the thing. And being on YouTube, I always see it. It's like, Jesus Christ, guys. Like, fucking relax. Relax, man. Like, Jesus. Like, but what are you going to do, man? All you can do is charge forward. Be happy. People are calling shit on this stuff. Be happy that people are calling them out and people are giving them at least a little taste of their own medicine and are coming together in order to call shit on things. I like the fact that everyone's coming together to talk shit. And that's the one thing that can bring us all together is, hey guys, if you want us all to be together, get ready to talk some mad shit.